Hey everybody, this video is originally going to be an open letter to the Osaka Board of Education, but actually Victor just put up a taibutsu, or corporal punishment, what is the international situation, video up, and so this will instead be a video response for him. So this video, I'm not real happy about having to do this video. It is kind of part of the anti-bullying series that I have, and it's also touches on corporal punishment and things like that. It was originally, I was really angry about the whole situation with Osaka, which, let me lay that out for you for a second. In December 2012, a high school student, 17 years old, was the captain of the basketball team, committed suicide. It turned out that the basketball coach had put a lot of pressure on him, and it physically hit him 30 to 40 times the day before he committed suicide. And yeah, and so the boy took his own life. Now, my initial feeling about this was that it was an absolute cause and effect, and but watching Victor's video about corporal punishment and the view that the coach is being made a scapegoat for it, I don't agree. I think that perhaps there is a possibility that the coach, the actions of the coach contributed to the boy's suicide, but the point is taken. It's not necessarily because the coach hit the kid that the kid committed suicide. However, there is, yeah, sports is difficult. There are a lot of coaches all over the world that hit or strike their players. I think that that is deplorable. I don't think that there's any reason to do that. Now, there's a scale though, right? It goes from tap, something, to, come on, what are you thinking? Get your head in the game, touching, putting your hand on the shoulders of the kid and shake them, once or twice, to actually, pop and catch the kid in the head or whatever, or to repeatedly do that. In general, there's no reason ever for a teacher to raise hand to a student unless it's in self-defense. The whole situation saddens me, and I think that my opinion is if an adult strikes a child in that situation, particularly where the adult is the authority figure, it's still assault or battery, however you want to, whichever legal version of that it comes down to, because there's never any reason. Some of the people said, "Oh, it's to toughen them up." A lot of people, "Oh, we don't want to make our kids tough," and blah blah blah. I don't think necessarily that does it. Now, parents, and the other thing is that the coach is not the parent of the child. So, yes, the coaches tend to know students and know kids very well, but they're still not the parent. And if you're a parent of a child and your child is struck by a teacher or a coach or whatever, unless it's for karate or some other martial art or kendo, then there's no excuse for it. I think that it is not a good thing. I don't think there's ever a reason when that absolutely needs to hit. It's the coach is angry about whatever. There's no reason to actually strike a student for any reason ever. Yeah, so I mean, my dad was a wrestling coach and a football coach at the local high school. So I've seen, you know, people get angry and yell, but there's never any reason to strike a student. If a student, like for American football, right, they have the helmets. If you want to tap them upside the head on the helmet, that's fine. You know, there's not going to be any damage with that. Get your head in the game, something like that. But for this kind of situation, baseball and stuff like that, the I can't remember the guy's name. The kanji is Yawarakai and Ta, and I can't think of how it's pronounced. But anyway, he was saying that when he was in high school, his baseball coach had hit him, and he had won Koshien twice, right? He was on the team that won Koshien twice. And yeah, no, that's not, you're not teaching them the right things. If that's the only way that you can get through to a student, then you need to find another job. That's it. The whole event saddens me, and it saddens me because I know people in Osaka Board of Education, and they're good people. And the main problem is, I don't think this is an isolated incident. I think this happens constantly, all the time. And in my experience, I've seen it, and it's not just the sports teams. I've heard stories, you know, teachers pulling students' hair because the hair was dyed. No, it's not right. It's wrong. And so there's never, ever a good reason, never a justifiable reason, except in self-defense, to hit a student. So if you're a coach and you feel that that's the only way to motivate a student, then you're not a very good coach. If you would like to find out what that's like to have the authority figure, the class figure, and you're the student, and no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Yeah, anyway. All right, that's going to be it for this video. The coach should be prosecuted, in my opinion, because he hit a kid, and in the end, that's all it comes down to. Most parents these days do not actually spank and stuff like that. That's a parental choice. I don't think that it necessarily qualifies as abuse, but I think that it doesn't ever teach the lesson that the parents want the child to learn. So I disagree with corporal punishment for kids. I don't think spanking is a good idea. But, you know, I don't have a kid, so I only have limited outside experience. So I'm not going to tell people what they need to do. However, if you're drawing blood, you've gone way, way too far. If you draw a bruise, you've gone way, way too far. It's assault or it's battery, depending on how you want to take a look at the law. And it's a coward's way out. Just my opinion.